Okay, it's interfering.
It's not.
We are happy that everybody is part of what we are about to talk about. Of recent, we knew what crystallized from last year during the campaign for the presidency of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. From voters' registration, we got to proper election. After the election petition tribunal. At every stage, there has been massive enlightenment. It started by all the aspirants holding various rallies, and up to the point there was the primaries of the various political parties, and afterwards, campaign. At every point, all eyes were pointing at a particular direction. After a while, the eyes pointed at the election petition proceedings going on at various places across the country, and particularly the presidential own, which was going on at the Court of Appeal. After that particular, the judgment has been reserved, and we know that before the 21st of September, judgment must be delivered by the tribunal. It has generated so much anxiety, it has generated so much tension, it has generated so much interest. This has led to the maxim that all eyes on the judiciary. Some people are uncomfortable about it. And being uncomfortable about it, it has led to some incidents which reinforce the belief that all eyes should be on judiciary. The question is, by all eyes being on judiciary, is judiciary being intimidated? Or the Nigerian public, are we performing our duties as responsible Nigerians who have interest and they are stake at what we are doing? 3 incidents have happened which have made it very uncomfortable, and there is need for this World Press Conference. The first one is the incident that happened some days ago, where the ACON, Advertising Regulation Council of Nigeria, banned the billboard of all eyes on the judiciary, and at the same time ordered that it should be pulled down. After the pulling down of the all eyes after the pulling down of the billboards, the next thing we saw that the people, staff, directors, and the deputy directors that approved that gave the approval for the erection of the billboard were suspended. As we are on that particular one, while all those things were going on, the apprehension of Nigerians were equally accentuated when a senior member of the Nigerian Bar Association was accused of trying to approach members of the Election Petition Tribunal in Kano. And it was stated by no other person than a member of that particular tribunal. And it was worrisome because it was done by a very senior member of who was unnamed, in as much as that issue is being handled by Nigerian Bar Association, but it equally amplifies the reason for all eyes to be on the judiciary. And some incident just happened on the 20th, that is on the 19th, on the 20th of August, when some members decided to hold a rally. 3 of them were arrested, one Ifeanyi Chigozie and 2 others. They were arrested. In as much as they were released hours after the arrest, because they were holding a rally saying that all eyes will be on judiciary, they were arrested by the police, and they were released hours later. But the truth about it is that as we are speaking, one of them is so traumatized that we are worried about the state of his health. We don't know what happened to him at the police station. Granted that he was released hours after that. It was on the basis of that we have been asked to come and throw a light on whether all eyes on judiciary, whether it is actually legal, whether it is actually our constitutional right, and whether there is anything wrong with it. I have decided to give this narrative to enable us know that at every point in time, Nigerian eyes were on something. At a point in time, Nigerian eyes were on registering to vote. At another point in time, Nigerian eyes were on voting. At another point in time, after the election, Nigerian eyes were on election petition proceedings going on at various states of the Federation. And at this particular time, Nigerian eyes is on the judgment that will be delivered anytime soon to be accorded. And the truth about it is that if people decide, particularly Nigerian citizens, decide to hold a rally or sensitization, it is allowed, it is within their realm, it is within their right. Particularly provisions of Section 39 of the 1999 Constitution and Section 40 of the 1999 Constitution, it allows people to gather, to hold opinion, to right of association, just like we are doing here. It is constitutional. And just like I'm talking, right to express an opinion, it is constitutional. The only time that we can be barred, it is equally so fundamental that it is equally provided in African Charter on Human and People's Rights. The reason at Article 11, the reason is that it is inalienable. It is a right which you have to exercise at every time. If you are not allowed to exercise it, the implication is that you may take to the street. The only exception, the only time is that there is a limitation if it is against the law. In this instance, or if it is outside the limitations that are placed by the law. There is no limitation that is placed by the law in the present environment which we are operating upon. As we are speaking presently, there is no state of emergency in Nigeria. So the provisions of Section 45 of the Constitution cannot come in, because that is the only time you can be restricted from having free association and free assembly. Or even Article 11, that particular exceptions that are placed in therein. So that being the case, everybody is allowed to exercise his opinion. Everybody is allowed to gather. Everybody is allowed to be part and hold opinion. The most important consideration here is that, you know, this that is looking technically as a clampdown on people that are exercising their right. In 2003, a similar scenario occurred. That particular time, after the immediate past president, President Muhammad Buhari, lost the election, he decided to have a rally, notwithstanding that there was an election petition going on at the Presidential Election Petition Tribunal in Abuja. He decided to hold rallies. In that rally that was held in September 2003, tear gas were used, and afterwards, a day afterwards, his running mate then, Senator Chukwuka Dibo, died of breathing complications. As a result of that, a revered senior lawyer, Femi Falana, went to court on behalf of AMPP, which was the platform under which President Buhari then ran. Justice Chikere of the Federal High Court delivered a judgment and clearly stated that it is constitutional for you to have your rallies, that the most important consideration is that such rallies shall not be held in the state of emergency, but at that particular time that such conditions or such environment does not exist, and that everybody has a right to hold their rally, and that Public Order Act 1, Section 1, cannot operate to contravene the provisions of Section 39 and 40 of the Constitution. And we all know that the Constitution is the ground norm upon which every other law is based. And any provisions of any other act or statute or laws that is inconsistent with the Constitution, to the extent of that inconsistency, is null and void. So it is on the basis of that that we've decided to throw light, and they say that all eyes on judiciary, there is nothing wrong with it. Because as we are speaking, there is no day that passes without anybody thinking about what will be the outcome of this presidential petition that is on now. Some persons, even as we walked in here, have asked me that question: what will be the outcome? I say we will wait for the judiciary. to deliver judgment. And that is all eyes being on judiciary. It is just like saying the judiciary is the last hope of common man. Anybody that does not have any skeleton in his cupboard, we have nothing to fear. We have nothing to show any apprehension. That particular position does not in any way, it is not saying, it is not mounting pressure, it is saying that all eyes should be on judiciary. Let us see what you people can do. And we hope that at the end of the day, that we will have the judgment that will make everybody to be happy in some of the election petition tribunal that is going on. It can get up to Supreme Court, or in some cases, if it, assuming if it is a National Assembly election petition, it stops at Court of Appeal or that of the House of Assembly. But for Guba and presidency, they get to the Supreme Court. So everybody has a right, particularly if you are a Nigerian, if you are a citizen, you have a right to check and to aspire and to ask questions about how the conduct that will lead to people that are ruling you are going at the various election petition tribunals.
Over the past few days since the movement called All Eyes on the Judiciary started, a lot of things have happened, have taken place, and it is important that we got a lawyer's perspective on it to make us understand that everything we do is legal. And I want to say that the only people who will be concerned negatively about a movement that says all eyes on the judiciary are people who have criminal intents, who have extrajudicial intents, who want to do something illegal. It is unfortunate that some members of COPDEM and ordinary Nigerians who feel that it is right to call the attention of the judiciary to the hopes. The All Eyes on the Judiciary movement is in line with the popular maxim that the judiciary is the last hope of the common man. If any system tries to stop the people from holding the judiciary to account, then that system is self-destructive. That system does not want to stand. Because if you do not believe in the judiciary, then you are calling for people to take to self-help measures. If the people cannot come out to say the only people or the only institution we rely on in this matter is the judiciary, then you are asking them to take up or to take actions that are illegal. And these actions that are illegal may be violent, it won't tell good on our society. So the All Eyes on the Judiciary movement is actually a pro-Nigerian movement, a pro-national movement. It is a movement championed by the best patriots, those who are most patriotic, and those who believe most in Nigeria's unity, those who believe most in Nigeria's democracy. We are saying that the Nigerian judiciary should not rely on technicalities to give its judgment, but they should rely on evidence, on law, on constitutionality. Anything outside that, we do not want a situation where someone who comes first on the basis of technicality. We do not want a situation where we are told that, well, what you argued is correct, but because you did not file on time, or because there is a misspelling on your summons or on your argument, we are going to strike it out. We want these matters in the judiciary or at different courts across the land, at the Presidential Election Petition Court, and at the National Assembly and State Assembly Petition Court, and Governorship Election Petition Court. We want these cases to be heard on their merit. We want these cases to be heard on the basis of the evidence presented. Are those individuals who are currently holding, occupying governorship, presidential, National Assembly, State Assembly positions qualified in the first place to sit to contest that election. It is important that these things are ruled for posterity purposes. Because if we get to a situation where Nigerians do no longer have hope, do not have faith in the judiciary, we run a risk of destroying this nation. And COPDEM is leading a movement to say that we want Nigeria to remain, that we want our democracy to be sustained, that we want our democracy to be strengthened, that we do not want anything to happen to this democracy. That is why we are saying elections have held with all the presumed irregularities. We are now looking at the judiciary to do justice. In fact, we expect the Chief Justice of Nigeria to be at the helm of this movement, because we are saying what he should say. We are helping him advance his argument that the judiciary is the last hope of the common man. Any system, any democracy, any nation that does not believe in democracy, that does not work to preserve the independence of the judiciary, the faith of the people in the judiciary, is a system prone to death. That system is sure to collapse. People who are currently benefiting or who have long benefited from the decadence in the Nigerian system believe that it will have to continue that way. But I have to remind us that Nigerians have taken enough. Nigerians are angry. Nigerians are frustrated. And in COPDEM, we are trying to ensure that Nigerians, the anger of Nigerians, do not overboil into something that might be considered illegal and destructive. We are trying to save Nigeria from going down. We are trying to save our democracy by saying that the judiciary, which is the last hope of the common man, must do its work without interference. The legal practitioner here has referred to a case where a member of a petition tribunal came out to say that attempts were made to try to buy over some members of the tribunal to give judgments that are not right. And up to date, we haven't heard that security agents invited those who were accused directly of trying to bribe members of the judiciary. And I want to call on the security agencies to stop harassing people who protest legally. If you harass people who protest legally, then you are encouraging people to take actions that are illegal. You are encouraging people to take actions that will be detrimental to our national cohesion. If you continue to harass people, if you continue to try to stop people from embarking on rallies, from embarking on protests, from embarking on demonstrations, you are telling them to go back home and take up arms. And that would be very unfortunate. We are calling on the security agencies to devote time in arresting those who are causing trouble in this nation. We need their efficiency, we need their gallantry, we need their competence in areas of this country where citizens pay taxes to non-state actors. We need their proficiency, we need their competence, we need their gallantry in areas of this country where civilians sit at home on Mondays, sometimes for 2 weeks, on a stretch without going to work because terrorists have ordered it. We need their competence, we need their gallantry, we need their patriotism in areas in this country where kidnapping, where terrorism have become the order of the day. They should stop harassing innocent citizens. They should stop harassing people who call for orderliness. They should stop harassing people who are expressing faith in the judiciary. They should stop harassing people who are calling for the right thing to be done. We are rather trying to secure a better future for them and for their children. They are not servants of the political class. They are servants of the Nigerian people. The security agents are Nigerians. They buy food in the same market that we do. They have dependents like we do. They understand how hard things are like we all do. They also understand that the individuals who are currently occupying political offices across the country, a number of them are not the choices of the people. They will also benefit if the judiciary do the right thing. So we are calling on the security agencies that their major task, their work, their loyalty is to the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and to the Nigerian people. Not to the president, not to the governor, not to the House of Assembly member, not to the House of Representatives member, but to the ordinary Nigerian who pays tax, whose taxes are used to pay them salaries. They owe them that loyalty. Their allegiance is to them. And they may say that they are obeying orders from the executive, from the people in government. I know that the law does not say you must obey orders. There is something they say, lawful orders. They should only obey lawful orders. When you are told to go and beat up an innocent citizen for participating in a rally, you have a right to say no. Because your first power comes from the Constitution, and your second power comes from the people.